Hey FlossTube! Welcome to my Stitchy home. My name is Becca and today is Thursday, May 14th, 2020. This is day 8 in my FlossTube Special to celebrate my 1-year FlossTube anniversary. So thanks for stopping by. Yesterday I did a quilt whip parade. And today I'm going to show you the quilt projects I have kitted up but have not yet started. And in my mind I thought it was like a couple of dozen and it's 7. So while 7 is still too many, in a lot of ways it's too many, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I've made a lot of progress in the last couple of years. 2019 was my year for finishing my quilts, and I got a lot of them that had been languishing knocked out, a lot. So I'm excited to have done this inventory of my projects. I think it can be very helpful and healthy to do. An update, let me go back. So this is a channel mainly about cross stitch if this is your first time here, but I do talk about my quilting and a little bit about crochet when I do it and my needlepoint and canvas work. So today it's all quilting, but if you are watching one of my regular floss tubes, it would mostly be about cross stitch. So an update to yesterday's video where I did the quilt whip parade. I have 2 quilts that I've pieced the top and I need to piece the back and then send them off to the long arm quilter to be made into quilts. I have 3 quilts that have been to the long arm quilter, have been quilted and come back to me, and one of them is this quilt here, which I'll insert a picture of what the entire quilt looks like. This was a block of the month quilt that I did at Sunday Best Quilt Works in Ellerslie, I think around 3 years ago. And I picked this fabric that you see here was my focus fabric. And I'll insert a picture of what that looks like close up. It's a Paris, France themed fabric, and my cousin Marty was born in France. She and her brother Mike were born in France, and she expressed appreciation for this quilt, just I think in general, but the fact that it was Paris themed was extra exciting for her. And I said, well, then I must have made this quilt for you. So I'll be working to get the binding on this week because her birthday is next week and I want to gift it to her for her birthday. When I get the binding on the other 2 quilts that are ready for binding, and the binding, well, you can't see it on this one, but it's the outer strip of fabric that kind of just finishes off the edge. When I get that done, I'll hang those quilts up behind me in a future floss tube, regular floss tube. And then I have 1 donation quilt in progress. I've made 5 of the types of blocks, and I think there are 4 more. It's a mystery quilt online, and I think there's 4 more blocks that have come out. The clues have come out on, the instructions basically to how to make the next 4 types of blocks, and you make multiples of each type of block. So I've shown the blocks I've made so far. I've shown them on a previous floss tube, and so when I get more blocks made, I'll show them on a future floss tube, and that will be a donation quilt. I'll give that to a group that will quilt it and give it to a local domestic violence shelter for women and children. Okay, and then I have a few donation quilts with the fabric selected and a general idea of the pattern I'm going to use that I haven't started yet. So I've not shown those on this, my whip parade or my kit parade today. But they will, you know, they'll show up in a future regular floss tube when I get them done. At least the top done, I'll show them in a future floss tube. Okay, so like I said, today is going to be quilt projects that are kitted up but not yet started. My oldest project, which is I purchased as a kit before I would say I was a quilter. I sewed. I made a wedding dress for somebody back in 1992, I think. And so I'm not afraid of the sewing machine. I'm not afraid of working with a variety of fabrics. And I thought I could make this quilt for the daughter of a friend of mine. And so I bought the kit from Keepsake Quilting. They had a catalog that came out. They may still have a catalog. I haven't received one in years. But this one is called the Ballerinas, or the Little Ballerina Quilt. And it was a kit from Keepsake Quilting in 2005. It's designed by Heidi Pridemore and the Whimsical Workshop, I guess, is her company. So, and yes, those are ribbons tied on the ballerina slippers. I do not know what I was thinking when I saw this in the catalog and thought, oh, I'll make this for my little friend Emma, who was taking dance. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. Because it came, and I'll show you some of the fabric that's more, you know, patterned and all. This is on the front of the quilt as well as the backing fabric. Obviously, little ballerina slippers. This is the focus fabric, and you kind of fussy cut these little ballerinas out to go in those star blocks there, and it's also the border. I love that it shows all kinds of different little girls. I don't think it shows any little boys, you know, but I love that. Love that. And then this is the background to the main part. It's, you know, musical notes. And then there was some purples and some purple with silver stars. And it came with the ribbon to make the ties on the slippers. And I tell you, I was not intimidated by this or adding borders or anything. What I didn't know if I could do and do it well was the slippers. So it just has been there for 15 years waiting to get done. And Emma will probably be married with children. She's in grad school right now, but she'll probably be married with her own little girl taking ballet classes by the time I get this made. But I feel like now I've done some applique. I'm doing applique. I'll get better, and when I do work on it, I'll do a good job, I hope. All right, the next one is a kit I picked up at Stitch N Quilt, which I think is in Mableton, Georgia. I meant to look that up, but it's called Baltimore Spring. It's by Pearl. There's her name. Pereira P3 Designs. And it was made for and of Red Rooster Fabrics. So this is this right here is a panel. And then this is like a fabric that is like a stripe. No, I take that back. All of that. Okay, this is the stripe. This is the outer stripe fabric. And it gives you the look of, these are called something points. I'm drawing a blank. But it's just the fabric. Alright. This is the panel in the center. This is what I thought I had pulled out to show you. That you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this one, this big one goes in the center, and then these other 12, hopefully you can see those, go around that center. So you do have to, I guess, sew that together. I honestly hadn't taken it out of the package to see or to read the instructions. I saw the model in the shop, and I knew that it would be a fairly simple thing to put together and make a cute spring summer wall hanging. And I forgot to say the ballerina quilt was 40 by 49, and which would be a wall hanging or a small child quilt. And then this, the Baltimore Spring, is 36.5 inches square. So definitely, you know, wall hanging size. All right, the next one is a paper pieced quilt, Little Bits Lighthouse by Cindy Egerton. It's tissue paper foundation pieced, and it makes a 16.5 by 20.25 inch, you know, wall hanging. So they provide the tissue paper. That's all the pattern. And I picked out fabric based on what the pattern called for. I thought this would make a great back on the back of the wall hanging. Just a water print with boats. And then you've got a black and kind of a green with a blue, red, orange and yellow and white. I love lighthouses, so why I haven't put that together, I do not I do not know. And the next one was a panel that Sunday Best Quilt Works was selling and nobody was buying. And so one day she came and said, who would like to have this panel for free? I thought, okay. So it makes this quilt 44 by 44. We have a quilt rod in our stairwell that I can hang, maybe not this size, which is full size quilt, but it could hang, you know, certainly a wall hanging or a large throw. So it could hang this. So if I had this done, we could hang that up for 4th of July or just in the summertime. And so it's a ½ yard of fabric. Let's see which way is up. This way. So you get this eagle, really bright colors, and then on the other half of the fabric you get these 4 floral stripes, and and they go right here. So I, of course, bought fabric at her shop, so it was a good marketing tool. I've got some green. These were all part of, this was part of the line that the eagle print went with. It's a blue with a red, kind of a mustard yellow, and a red. So, that's to do. All right. The next one is one that I bought up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. They have a lot of quilt shops up there. And this is Midnight by Janet Clare. And it's made with 2.5-inch strips, which Moda packages 2.5-inch strips in what they call a jelly roll. And so this line, this jelly roll has these darks, some more medium to lighter blues, pale blues to cream, right, all the way to all these different cream prints. And some are duplicates. So you take 2 of these, and I didn't use the particular line that was the pattern the model was made from, but this will work perfect, really. It's perfect. So Midnight, and it makes a quilt 60 by 60. So this line of fabric is called Cold Spell Batiks by Laundry Basket Quilts for Moda. And then I've got the pattern itself. You use the extra strips to make the back, but I also bought fabric to do if I want to do a border and the binding and the backing. So I've got some options on how to finish the back. This was a case of where I liked the ease of the pattern, but I'm not a big Halloween person, so making it with Halloween fabric wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do. It's called Spice Cakes by Sandy Gervais, and she spells her name the same as Brenda Gervais. So I wonder if there's a relationship. Her company is called Pieces from My Heart, and this will make a quilt that is 84.5 by 84.5 inches if you make it square. And I like that it was an even, edge that you have to finish off. So that would be different. Well, it uses what they call layer cakes, which a layer cake is 42 pieces of 10 by 10 inch pieces of fabric from the same fabric line. So these were all, oranges and blacks and creams from the same fabric line. Crinkle, crinkle. I saw this fabric, which kind of has an oriental feel to it, but the color is what drew me. And so then I got a dark blue. There's a dark blue in there. So I got a dark greeny blue, and then I got a light one. So I was going to have to do some figuring out to make, every other one dark blue on the outside, light blue on the outside, etc. And then I think this is going to be my backing on the back of the quilt. And I might have, I don't remember if I was thinking I would just use a cream for, the border and all the places you kind of see the light cream. I don't remember what I was thinking. It was probably 4 years ago that I got that. And, when I make that, if I don't have somebody specific that it's for, and I don't have a strong feeling that I need to keep it, that it's just the learning experience of you know, the outside border being different, then it might be a donation quilt. But that remains to be seen. Somebody might pop up that's a friend or family member that I'm like, oh, I must have made that quilt for you. This is the last one of my kitted quilts, and it's the 2020 Middle Georgia Shop Hop quilt. I purchased the finishing kit. So you went from shop to shop, and each shop you could purchase for like $1 each these different blocks. So one shop had these two, one shop had these two, etc. And so there were 7 shops, 14 blocks, and Birdhouse Quilts in Byron, Georgia displayed it. They pieced it, put it all together in this format. The other shops each did their own overall quilt design using, you know, anywhere from 12 to 15 blocks. So if their design required fewer than 14, then they didn't use 2 of the blocks. Maybe they could put them on the back or something. If their design required, you know, 1 more or 2 more or whatever, then they just made up a similar, they either made 1 block twice. And so if you bought their finishing kit, they would probably tell you you'll need a 15th block or 16th block or whatever. And you could then purchase 1 block, you know, twice or something. But I like this one because it used exactly 14 blocks, and it had the sewing machine in the center. So when I opened up the finishing kit, I found that they part of what you purchased was this pattern, Thimble Blossoms by Camille Roskelley, and it's called Stitched with Love, and it makes the 17 by 20 inch center, or basically this pattern is what helps you make, you know, that center design. And then they have instructions in the finishing kit for making these spools and, you know, putting the border on. So I think we actually took a picture of their model that was hanging in their shop, and then I printed it off. And so their finishing kit came with some little pieces and all these beautiful colors. We got the orange and this stripe. These are batik fabrics. This blue and green, and this kind of it's white, but it's got an ever so slight pale purple tint to it. And I didn't bring all the little blocks that you buy. So this is the background of, here's another picture. This is everywhere you see like what looks like white is this pale lavender. So when you buy the block, you're just getting the colors. Let's see, this is pretty easier to see. And then you have to supply your own background. And so I bought this to be my background. And there you go. So for, you know, very little money, you bought the fabric to do the blocks, and then of course to make the whole quilt. And I chose a blue for the backing, which I didn't bring over here. And it's just fun. My husband and I went out that day, and we went from shop to shop around Middle Georgia. And I hadn't been to some of the shops, so that was good. And 2 of the shops I did not go to, but I'm pretty sure I can figure out how to make those blocks. So I bought extra fabric for making those blocks. Plus, this lady in one of the shops came up to me and she said, would you like these blocks that I bought that I'm not going to use? And I think it was 4 or 6 of the blocks. So I could even just make those blocks. I haven't gotten into exactly what I'm going to have to do to put that together, but we went to 5 of the 7. And there you go. That's my kitted quilt project parade. I really thought I had like a bazillion kits, so I actually had more whips than I did not started kits. All right, that's that. I'll be working over the next few days to pull all my needlepoint and canvas projects. I haven't decided if I'm going to bring them all downstairs because they're in my craft closet upstairs, or if I'm going to take you upstairs and we'll do the parade up there. I haven't decided, but I'll figure that out and hopefully have the next FlossTube Special, which will be number 9, on Monday, May 18th. Probably Monday and Tuesday. It'll probably take a couple days to get through all that. So if you're interested in needlepoint or canvas work or just pretty things, you'll want to join me for that adventure next week. Thanks for stopping by my Stitchy home. Good to see you as always. I hope you're doing well and getting a lot of stitching done. And every one of my videos ends, well, except for 2 that were done kind of, 3 that were done kind of live. They were done, you know, where you film and then you directly upload to YouTube. All of my other floss tubes have music at the beginning and the end. So if you're sitting there stitching and you hear me talking, you can ignore me if you want until you hear the music come on, and then you know that's the end of my floss tube. And sometimes I have announcements on that end screen. So, you know, if you're not in a hurry, just go ahead and wait and look at the end screen. Sometimes it's boring and sometimes it's not. Have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Bye.